and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the match reaction for Everton's very unexpected 3-1 win away at Fulham. I will freely admit that before the game, I was really struggling to get myself up for this one, let's say, um, and just about as unconfident as I felt in ahead of a game for a long time, probably since Moyes arrived, especially once the lineup was announced and it was Keane coming back into the team, Harrison back in the team, Ndiaye and McNeil both on the bench. And you fear the worst. Fulham have a lot more to play for us at this point. The performances in the last few games have been really poor from us, on the whole, and I just couldn't really see us getting ourselves up for this one. And yeah, for the first 20 minutes or so, that did kind of seem to be how it was going to go. Fulham started much the stronger, um, and we're kind of just all over us really for the first 20 minutes. Take the lead early on with a well worked goal, but one that we probably made a bit too easy for them, if truth be told. I have sympathy for Mikalenko. It was a difficult one for him, I admit. Once that ball comes in and Jimenez is in the position he's in, there's only really going to be one winner for it. Um, but one could argue Mikalenko probably should do more to stop Jimenez reaching that ball. But as it turns out, they take the lead. And in a way, that was kind of that was almost a blessing in disguise for us, really, because they really seemed to put the handbrake on a little bit after that, and kind of fell into the same trap I thought we did last weekend against Ipswich, where once we were ahead, even though it was just a one goal lead, we kind of seemed more intent on just sitting on it a bit rather than pressing for more. And to be honest, Fulham were all over us and had the bit between their teeth, I thought, in that opening 20 minutes. And if they just kept plugging away, they probably, the way we were playing, they probably could have put us away and put the game beyond any doubt before half time. But as I say, they kind of set off us a little bit and allowed us to growing confidence a bit more into the game. And I thought the press from us really improved. I know Decore in particular. I'll mention him specifically when it comes to the press. I know he's become a very divisive figure, in particular in the last few days. He's been someone who's divided opinion all season, really, to be fair. But um, I think today really shows just how important he is for our press. Um, and I think our midfield misses him when he's not involved. And granted, obviously once we turn the game around in the second half, that's when Doucouré's not on the pitch. I freely admit that, but I don't think we get that equaliser right before half time, which is a really important time. It's the old adage, isn't it? A really important time to score. Would have been a massive blow for Fulham, thinking they're going in at half time ahead, and it's suddenly being level again with a goal that we didn't really deserve. Like I said, we were playing a bit better towards the end of the half, but we weren't really creating too much. And it's a fortunate goal. Mikalenko just takes a punt, it takes a deflection, completely wrong foot to Leno, and suddenly we're level. Um, but like I said, I don't think we get into that position in the first place if Doucouré's not playing. And then, like I said, the second half we just kind of carried on in the same vein. Really, we proved that we could get on top of Fulham and make things difficult for them. And yeah, like I think when the goal came, it was more than deserved. Fulham barely threatened in the second half, especially before while it was still level. Obviously once we were 3-1 ahead, we kind of sat off a little bit more in a similar way to what Fulham did. Just kind of wanted to hold on to what we had. Um, but before then, I thought we were well on top and really good value for the lead when it came, even though we didn't have maybe too many golden opportunities to score before then. But and it really did prove just what a miss McNeil's been, particularly on set pieces. A lot has been made of Charlie Adams' time as set piece coach, and that we really seem to have regressed in them, particularly from corners. But you could say once you have your first choice delivery taker on them, just how much of a marked improvement there was, and it was a perfect ball, really good header from Michael Keane, who, again, we have to hold our hands up sometimes, I think, when I don't think anyone would have been pleased to see his name on the team sheet, even though it wasn't enforced change, with O'Brien being out. But I thought he had a really solid game today. It's one of them where I didn't really notice him too much defensively, but that's what you want from a defender. When he came on against Man City, he was very much the centre of attention for all the wrong reasons. Whereas today was very much the opposite. And obviously, gets his name on the score sheet once again. And, a lot has been made about how he seems to offer more for us offensively than defensively. But yeah, like I say, really well taken header from a really good delivery, get ourselves in front, and then, as you say, literally riding that wave of confidence, hitting Fulham when they're vulnerable again, and really good work from Charlie Alcaraz. I thought he'd released the ball too early. I'll be honest. I would have. I thought he was going to drive a bit longer, but fair play, gets the ball through to Beto, and a really well taken finish from Beto, who really grew into the game again. Like I say, a lot of our players did this. I thought. Like I said, the first 20 minutes they were just all over us, but once we grew into the game, performance is really starting to improve, and I think Beto played a lot more to his strengths in the second half than he did in the first. He was trying to do a bit too much of the hold-up play, I thought, which I think his time at Everton has proved is not his forte. He's much better running onto balls and being aggressive rather than trying to hold it up. Um, but yeah, like I said, and that was vintage better. That, to be fair, racing onto the ball, getting the shot away first time. Once again, he's kind of like the new Nikica Jelavic in that sort of mold. Likes the first time shot, and yeah, you could argue Lennon should probably do more for it and can probably do better. But I think he just gets caught off guard. But you wouldn't really expect a striker to have a shot from that angle, from that position, first time like he does. And so yeah, it's really instinctive centre forward play from Beto. And so yeah, like I say, I'm over the moon right now recording this. It's a beautiful sunny day. For those away fans travelling down, that must have been a day to remember. I was thinking that if I'd been down there in the pub before the game about an hour before, seeing that lineup announced, I probably would have just stayed in the sunshine, to be honest, rather than gone to the ground. But I'm sure everyone in that ground in the away end will be very pleased they didn't do that. Um, and yeah, like I say, it's got to be said, Moyes has really turned the away form around, hasn't he? It's just a shame that the home form, particularly in a season like this, um, hasn't hit the same heights really. But hopefully, you know, um, off the back of this win, we can go into next weekend and give Goodison Park the send off it deserves against one of the worst teams in Premier League history. It seems simple, doesn't it? But no one was expecting this today, so hopefully we don't go off script on in all the wrong ways on Sunday. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. I'm just about to record the player ratings video for the Toffee Blues channel as well, so make sure you check that out. But please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Comment below giving your thoughts about this match. I'm sure we're all a little bit surprised about how this one turned out. And subscribe to the Toffee Blues channel for more Everton content. And we will see you in the next video. Up the Toffees.